solid second game. So maybe crowd control, maybe security, safety, peel, whatever you want to call it. They need something to help OP out.
Last pick for Cambodia in the first phase. They need a hero that can be very independent here in these team fights as well, knowing that there's so much dive. Self-peel hero, but they will just go for the Martis first. This will give the, again, chance for both of these countries to start narrowing down that gold lane. With the Melissa banned out, knowing that, again, they already have a Yuzong and now a Martis, two heroes that wants to get close. The Melissa is a solid option for the ban. Now Indonesia, honestly looking at it, they might want to get Irithel out of the fray.
Irithel, or maybe a Claude even? It depends. I mean, if they want to just dive in like that, you look at the composition so far, it's two fighters that are diving towards you and one mage that potentially, right, with the IMU from Deja, can use that long-range artillery. So it's a very similar composition. Now, the final two bans might show. Is it going to be the same comp head-to-head, or is it going to be slight differences adjusting, allowing the early game to be different? Indonesia has banned away the Claude, so it's not Cambodia banning it away. So I guess, again, with two fighters, with the dive composition looking, I think Claude was a solid option for both these teams.
Yeah, and the Claude also has a blink compared to just the dash, right? So getting out of the real world manipulation is a bit easier with that Claude. The Leslie becomes the ban here, becomes the ban that Cambodia look for. Again, respecting brands, knowing that Leslie was just such a problem for the Philippines last time up against Indonesia when they did get that hero onto their hands. Melissa, Leslie, Claude, and the Wan. There's a lot of gold lane bans, and Indonesia can look to go for another gold lane ban, or they could actually stop there and go for, right now, Roamer, right? They can actually just ban out a Roamer. The Atlas is still up for grabs. Again, they already got rid of the Diggy. With this melee style of composition that they have, the Atlas is pretty dangerous to let go.
Well, Indonesia has the first pick, and they have the Diggy banned out as well. Hang on. Cambodia actually has the first pick, right? So they can get the Atlas here.
Or the Ruby.
And for Indonesia, I wonder if they're going to look for a gold laner instead, right? Gold laners are being banned left and right, so I think who gets a solid gold laner, they can melt through the majority of these heroes, has a bit of an edge. The Beatrix, as I was about to say, is open. It is in a dangerous spot though, but Cambodia thinks it might just work.
Irithel here becomes the choice for Indonesia. They can also still play something like a Brody, a Clint, or Bruno that so far we have not seen today, but we have seen before in this tournament. And also, we are still waiting on a hero for the roamer position. I think the reason Cambodia went for the Beatrix first was because they know that if they pick the... Well, they know if they let the Atlas open for Indonesia, and Indonesia eventually goes for that pick, Cambodia has the option to just steal that Fatal Links away. Has the Valentina with the IMU to look for these crazy engages with the same... Giving Indonesia more ultimates to play with will mean that they're giving themselves more ultimates to play with as well. Indonesia, just as I said, that Bruno is going to be hovered over, but the Irithel becomes the wiser choice, the better choice here for Indo. And the Mathilda, like you mentioned, but the Lolita instantly here hovered over, shadow picked by Cambodia. I think it's a very solid choice here, but it's only to counter the Irithel. The dive, not so much. Well, technically, it can be a counter to dive if he finds a good position to get that Nuna Blast.
If they can get control using the Black Dragon form and Martis with the crowd control immunity, they can then use that control, that vision game, to set up for a huge, massive Numenon Blast. I think that's the idea Cambodia wants to go for, but against an equally aggressive composition from